What's up, everybody? Welcome back to One More Guitar. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to take a closer look at this Epiphone Jared James Nichols signature guitar. This is called Gold Glory. If you don't know, he had a signature guitar previously called Old Glory. It was a black version of this, and then they created this double gold version here, and I think the finish on this thing looks really awesome. But what I want to do today is take a deep dive into this thing, kind of look at the specs, and then do some playing samples and see what this thing can do. So let's get going. Alright, we're going to start by taking a look at the specs of this guitar. The first thing I want to mention is this is an all mahogany body guitar. Usually a Les Paul has a maple cap on it, but this one's actually all mahogany. Next I want to talk about the aged gloss finish. This is a finish that Epiphone has worked with the Gibson Custom Shop to create, and it gives you kind of a vintage, not necessarily relict, but kind of a played in look. And this color is double gold here, and I think it looks great. You have one master volume and one master tone. Next we'll talk about the bridge and tailpiece. This is the wraparound lightning stop bar. You can't intonate every string individually, but you can see that the little lightning bar on here kind of does some compensation for you, and you can use the screws in the back to try to intonate it. You can see the bridge is already starting to discolor a little bit. I noticed the same thing on the Les Paul Special. I don't know if it's the bridge or me, but I did notice that on both guitars that have this bridge. Next we'll check out the pickup. This is a Seymour Duncan Dog Ear P90. I think it sounds great. The guitar has bindings similar to a Les Paul Custom. It's got it on the body and on the neck and on the headstock. The fingerboard's made of ebony. It has perloid block inlays, 22 frets. It's a 12-inch radius. The nut width is 1.693 inches, and the nut is made of Graphtec new bone, which I've said before, I love that Epiphone is putting that on their guitars now. It's also got this cool blues powered truss rod cover. On the original Old Glory, this was a plate that was underneath the bridge, but now they've moved it to the truss rod cover, and I really like that they did that. I think that looks pretty good. It also comes with Grover Rotomatic tuners. Like I mentioned earlier, the headstock's bound and it's got the perloid logo and graphic on it, and I think this headstock looks awesome. It also has a set mahogany neck. The neck profile is a 50s rounded C. It definitely feels like a 50s profile to me, but it's still comfortable to play. I think the neck feels good. It's got a stinger on the back of the headstock. One of the things I really liked about it. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this Crafted in China sticker off. I don't usually do that, but I don't want it to cover up the stinger, so let's do that. It's got Jared James Nichols' signature on it. It came with tins from the factory, and it comes with a soft shell case. Let's check that out. Alright, this is the case that comes with the guitar. I heard some people got the hard case that came with the 59 early in the run, but this is what I got. This is an Epi Light case. And I'm actually pretty happy about this case. It's a soft case, but it's got a hard back and hard sides, and it's pretty nice. It's got this large pocket on the front, and it had a few things inside. If you haven't seen the unboxing, check that out. And I went through the case candy. There wasn't a lot with it, but there was a few things. Alright, let's take a look inside. Just got a black interior in here. It also has this headrest here, or neck rest, with some Velcro on it to keep your guitar secure. So I thought that was a pretty nice feature. The padding and the lining in the case is okay. It'll do the job. I think the padding in the Epiphone 59 Les Paul case was a little better though. It was a little thicker and seemed like it would absorb a little better. Alright, now let's take a look at how much this guitar weighs. It's 8 pounds and 5 ounces. And while we've got it on the table, let's go ahead and check out the pickup resistance. It's right around 9. It's kind of what I expected. Alright, I've got the strings off the guitar now, and we'll take a look at it before I clean it up here. It definitely needs to be cleaned at this point. I've had it for a couple of months now and been playing it, but it gets dusty, you know. You can see that the fretboard is a little dry, and also I mentioned in the unboxing that the frets themselves were a little scratchy. So what I'm going to do is just clean this neck up, or clean the fretboard up I should say, and see if we can get it looking and playing a little bit better. Alright, so I meant to pull this pickup out while I had the strings off, but I didn't think about it, so I went and took it out later. But for some reason I didn't take any footage of the bottom of the pickup. Missed it. Anyway, we can check out the cavity here, take a look. There's really not a lot to see. You've got the route here, you can see the mahogany inside. There's one wire going from the pickup to the body, and that's pretty much all there is. Alright, next we'll take a look at the back. Before I open this up, there's one thing I wanted to note. This panel is recessed into the body. I haven't seen that often, so thought that was worth noting. Alright, let's check out the inside. Alright, quick look inside of the back cavity here. You can see the gold finish inside of there on some parts of it, but not on all of it. Take a look at the pots here. They're full-size CTS pots. Have a small capacitor there. Everything looks good to me. It looks like they even left some tone tape in here for us. See if I can gently pull this out without ripping some finish off. Yep, just a little piece of masking tape. Okay. Speaking of finish coming off though, I did see this up here. It looks like it got chipped. Alright, so now I'm going to try to clean up this fretboard and these frets. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to polish up the frets using the StewMac polishing kit. And I'm going to go through 3 different grades of sandpaper here and just polish the frets up one by one. Alright, and I'm going to finish up by polishing the frets with some polishing compound, and then I'm going to use Music Nomad's F1 oil to condition the fretboard. Alright, I think that gave the fretboard some pop. The ebony looks a lot cleaner now and a little shinier, and the frets are much smoother. I'm really interested to see what they're going to feel like with some strings on there. I think I've taken care of all the issues with that. And I think they look good too. I think this fretboard looks great. I did notice one thing here. You can see on the 3rd fret here, right on the left side, there's a little bitty chip in the fretboard there. Didn't notice that until I took the strings off. Also, I'll say that I can still see these streaks down here. So I guess that's just part of the wood. I wasn't sure if there was some kind of gunk on there, or if it was in the wood or not. But otherwise, I think this turned out really well. Alright, before we check out the playing sample, I want to do the tissue test. I mentioned in the unboxing that this is one of the best fret jobs I've ever felt on an Epiphone. So I don't expect it to tear the tissue, but let's check it out. All right, we got no tears there. Let's check the bottom. We got no tears there. So like I said, they did a really good job with this particular guitar. I don't know if they're all like this or if it's just this one, but this one's in really good shape. Alright, so let's check out some sound samples. There's not a lot to show you with one pickup, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a few things with it clean, and then I'm going to play a few things with it dirty, and then I'm going to play a song and try to do a mix where I can see if I can get the most out of this pickup. So let's see what it sounds like clean first. Alright, I really like the way this thing sounds clean. Let's throw some overdrive on it and see what that sounds like. Alright, so now what I'm going to try to do is put together a track where I can play this thing and you can hear the dynamics of this pickup in context. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on this guitar? I think this thing is a screaming machine. This pickup can do a lot. These are really good electronics in here, and these knobs, the more you turn them, the more you get out of them. I mean, you get something different all the way around. That's not always the case, especially on more affordable guitars. This is absolutely a pro level Epiphone. It sounds good, it plays good. It came set up well. Like I mentioned before, the fret ends are great. This is a really nice Epiphone guitar. As far as playing it goes, for my personal experience, this has been one of the hardest guitars for me to demo and play. I don't know what it is, if it's just that I'm a fan of the neck pickup and I'm missing it, or the fact that this thing is making me work harder. But this guitar has been a challenge for me since I've opened it and been working on it, you know, when I made the last video. I mean, it sounds great and it plays great, but you know, getting everything out of it, again, especially after watching Jared James Nichols do it, this thing is going to present a challenge for sure. At least it did to me. I didn't talk about this a lot in the unboxing, but the ebony fretboard on this thing I think looks really good. I especially like the inlays on it, and if you notice, the inlays do not go all the way up. They stop right here on the 13th fret, I mean the 15th fret. Overall, I think this guitar looks and sounds great. There's really not any flaws with it other than the few things I saw in the finish when I showed you in the unboxing. There's a couple of places where it doesn't quite meet the binding just right, but other than that, I think the thing looks really good, and you can't see those little blemishes. Even where the camera is right now, I doubt you can see it. It's right here on the horn. But yeah. Another thing I really like about this guitar is the stinger on the back. I think that is really cool. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to get this guitar. Just all of the aesthetic things about it. The gold, the fact that it looks like a Les Paul Custom, the fact that it only has one pickup like a Junior, and that it has this stinger on it, and the Grover tuners. There's a lot that I really liked about this guitar, and that's why I ended up picking it up. This bridge is awesome, just like the Lightning bridge on the Les Paul Special. This thing works really well, and it adds a lot of sustain, and I really like the way these guitars resonate with this bridge on it. Alright, so there's one more thing I want to talk about. Trogley did a review of this guitar where he actually had Jared James Nichols playing the demos. That must be nice. But he did something in that video that I was not thinking about. He said that he preferred cream plastics on this. I thought, you know, I really like that a lot. So I bought a cover to put on this to check it out to see what it would look like with a cream cover on it. So let's go swap that out and take a look at this. Alright, so what do you think of the cream pickup cover? I like it. I think it looks kind of like a classic gold top. I'm not sure it looks as badass as it did with the black cover though, so it may go back, but I wanted to check it out for a minute. It cost about 20 bucks from StewMac to get it here, but I don't know, it looks pretty cool, I think. Either way, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Which one you like more, the black or the cream? Alright, well, I appreciate it. Please remember to take a second to like and subscribe, and until next time, take it easy and keep playing.